For the Lord brought Judah low because of Ahaz, king of Israel, for he made Judah naked and transgressed sore against the Lord. 2 Chronicles 28:19. My friend, see Judah's shame not as punishment from a God afar off, but as the inevitable fruit of a restless soul. Ahaz, the image of the worldly king, drove his people to strive without pause, to rush each moment as though the next breath were borrowed. In that fevered hurry they became naked, exposed in spirit, because they had broken the sacred Sabbath within. The Sabbath is the divine pause in which your own I am calls the unseen, as though it were, and so brings it into form. When you labor without that rest, your imaginings remain unripe like rice forced in boiling water, hard, tasteless, and unfinished. Judah's nakedness is simply the mirror of a kingdom that refused to rest in the end of its desire. See now the hidden mercy in their abasement. God brings them low to awaken the promise within their own human imagination. In falling they learn to pause, to imagine once the completed victory, peace in their streets, faith in their temple, joy in their hearts, and then to desist. This is the true Sabbath, to ceaselessly create in your inner chamber, to see the vision fulfilled with perfect clarity, and then to rest with untroubled faith. Judah's transgression was to labor in fear, to remake each moment without the blessed seventh day, without the divine climax that declares it is finished. So the Lord, your own deep self, laid them bare. Yet in this exposure you glimpse the pathway back, conceive the end of your truest desire, accept its perfection, and cease. Therein lies restoration. That sacred rest restores your garment, your very dignity, and the unseen becomes seen. Keep the Sabbath, and nakedness will turn to radiance, for in the pause of faith every kingdom rises again. Brought low describes the moment when our self-image collapses, when pride, fear, or false judgment strips us of our protective cloak. Naked is simply vulnerability. The ego's masks have fallen away, and we glimpse our own naked imagination. Transgressed points to the moment we break the one unspoken commandment against anxious, doubting mental effort. Every external event is born in imagination. Ahaz, standing for the part of us that trusts appearances, fails to rest in the perfect picture. Instead he works, worries, and thereby calls into being the very disgrace he fears. His inner conflict becomes the outer reversal of fortunes. This is the law. Imagine clearly, then cease all anxious work. Your imaginal act must rest in peaceful fulfillment. This verse reveals that each of us carries the divine power to conceive reality and then detach, allowing the unseen to become seen. Our Sabbath is that sacred pause in consciousness, the creative cessation in which God, I am, actualizes our conception. When we habitually keep the Sabbath of the mind, we mirror the Creator, who calls the unseen as though it were. Next time you feel stripped or ashamed when life brings you low, recognize it as a naked invitation to reset your imaginal act. Ask yourself, what if I envisioned this situation already perfect? What if I imagined my dignity restored? Hold that scene until it feels complete, then deliberately release all tension. Stop working on the problem. Rest in the conviction that your inner God has now brought the unseen into form. In this way, every trial becomes the raw material of transformation. You possess the power to turn humiliation into triumph simply by imagining the end, keeping the mental Sabbath, and trusting that what was unseen becomes seen.